Hey YouTube, Bernard here and welcome back to another video for Shopify app development tutorial series. First of all, we would like to thank you everyone for helping us reach 100 subscribers. I know it ain't that much, but honest work. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that you are enjoying our videos and learning from what we do. Although some of you guys are still having issues with getting started, so in the future we're going to create a Shopify app from scratch again in just one sitting. We'll do that, yeah. Maybe next year, yes. Okay, for this video, we're going to learn how to implement recurring application charts. So if you are developing a Shopify app and you want to earn from it, this is a good way to do it by charging merchants monthly. Okay, so without further ado, let's open our index.php and start working. Okay, so we're here in our index.php file. Just ignore the index3.php because this is just a temporary file. So basically, whenever I save this file, it will automatically be uploaded to our server. So it will show in Shopify. Yeah, so we have this template. This is our default template for Shopify index. We have requirements for the functions.php file. We have our connect.php file for the database. So if you guys don't know how to connect your Shopify app to the database, we have our links in the description. We'll give you a tutorial there for connecting Shopify app to the database. Okay, so here we gather all the data that we need from Shopify, like Shopify store, URL, stuff like that. And then we use SQL to get our Shopify token. And yeah, over here we have our subdomain for the shop. And if you guys are wondering why we're using shop weekly how or just subdomain, it's because of our function.php file. So if you open your function.php file in the inc folder, you can see that it only accepts subdomain. So we're going to show you guys how you can actually get your subdomain, or if you're a little bit lazy, then you can just open your function.php file and just get rid of this and then just save it, and then instead of weekly how, you just get the row and then store URL. So basically what you will have over here is your subdomain.myshopify.com. You can have that way. However, if you only want to use just the subdomain, then what you can do is to actually convert this into, parse this into URL and then explode the URL by the dot, which you have like the weekly how dot myshopify.com. So basically you explode this string into an array using the dot separator, and then this will be your 0 and then 1 and then 2. That's an option if you want. If you're lazy, you can just get rid of this and then just store URL over here. But if you want to know how to get your subdomain using the URL, then what you can do is, let me just undo that. Over here we have, for example, URL, and then you pass here, now use the function parse URL, and then use row and then store URL. But don't forget, don't forget to add HTTPS over here. You need that because you have to parse this into URLs. Obviously you need HTTPS or HTTP, but since this is Shopify, you need S for SSL or security or whatever. Next, okay, so we have to get our subdomain or the array for this URL. So host, you can call host or whatever variable you want to call that, and then use explode function, and then you use the delimiter dot or separator, whatever you call it, and then assign the variable URL over here, host. Okay, so next is to subdomain. Is to get the subdomain, of course, and then just assign it like host and then 0, like what I said. All right, so that's how you get your subdomain. And then you can just assign here shop and then subdomain like that. Or you can just use the variable shop and then assign it over here. Okay, so let's get started with the recurring application charge. So let's do that. If we save this, let's go to our Shopify app. Okay, so we're here in our Shopify app. As you can see, we don't have much in here because as you can see in our code, we don't have anything in our body. So, all right, so let's get started with our recurring application charge. First of all, let's create an array. Let's call this recurring array. And then let's put array over here. And then make sure you end up with semicolon. And then next, we make a key of recurring application charge. That's right. And then you assign another array over here because this is a two-dimensional array. And then over here, let's make the name for the recurring application charge. So for example, we'll assign here weekly how premiums. You can call this whatever you want. You can call this premium version of something something, or I don't know. It's up to you guys. And then next one, of course, we need the price. So we'll give this, for example, $5 every month. So 5.0. And then next is we have to make sure that we're using the test key over here because otherwise you'll be deducted, you'll be charged by this API. You don't want that, so you have to sign true over here. And then the most important thing is the return URL, because whenever you call the charge API, you have to get the return URL, and you will be redirected to that URL. You have to redirect the merchants to that URL. Okay, so let's add a value over here of our URL. So for example, we have HTTPS weekly how, or you can just put HTTPS and then shop or row store URL, and then over here you add another string and then admin / apps and then the title of your, or the name of your app. So for example, our app example 14. And then you have to make sure that you have the server variable over here, server, and then query string over here. There you go. So this is just an array, you guys. Recurring application charge, two-dimensional array. We have the name, we can have premium, and then the price, $5 per month. And then we have to make sure this is true, otherwise we'll get charged. And return URL, this is after we call the API, the charge API, the merchants will be redirected to this URL. So after they get charged, yeah. All right, so next is we're going to actually make the recurring charge API. So of course, let's call off Shopify call over here, and then token, and then shop, and then the URL for the recurring application charge, which is admin API / 2019-10 / recurring application charge .json. And then over here we put our recurring array, and then we add post over here. There we go. Okay, so next we use the same variable, and then over here we decode the response from the Shopify call, JSON decode, and then recurring charge, and then response, and then JSON pretty print. There you go. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to actually redirect the merchants to the confirmation URL that was generated by the recurring charge API. So to do that, we can either use header function, but since we're inside an iframe, we can't actually use that. It's gonna block our code. It's gonna make an error. It's gonna cause an issue. So instead, we're going to use echo. I know it's crazy, but yeah, echo and then put here script. We're going to use JavaScript for this one, and then make sure you close that with semicolon. And inside, we're going to use top dot window dot location, and then over here we add double quotation mark and then concatenate our URL. So over here, recurring charge variable, and then two keys over here for the confirmation URL, and then over here make sure you add recurring application charge. There you go. And then next we make sure that it's dead. All right, so yeah, let's save your file and then let's open our Shopify app. All right, so we actually made a mistake over here. It's supposed to be example app 14. You have to double check the URL for your Shopify app over here. So you have to look at the link. So make sure you copy the link address, you paste over here, and then you just copy this one, and then you just put it over here. Okay, so we have a typo once again. Sorry, I'm making a lot of mistakes. It's supposed to be charges. Make sure it's plural. Alright, so let's save that once again and then let's open our app. This time I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. Alright, so let's open our app. And there you go. Now we have here the page approve of charge. Over here we have you will not be billed for this test charge because over here we have the test is equal to true. So yeah, you won't be charged when you approve the charge. Okay, so we have the example app, and then by weekly help we have $5 per month, which is pretty good. Okay, so we have the weekly help premium for the title, for the name, for the subscription, or for the plan, and then you can either approve charge. So if we click approve charge, we should get redirected to our return URL over here. So we'll get back to this page, and then the recurring charge API will give us a code or an ID that we can use to either put it in the database that, hey, this merchant purchased or upgraded his plan to premium. So we can update our database that, yeah, that says that. Okay, so yeah, if we try to click approve charges, let's see what happens. And there you go. We'll get redirected to our app, and then over here again, because of the code over here, that whenever you load this page, you will get redirected. So to stop that from happening, we have to make a condition over here. If it says like if get, because we have to get the charge ID. Yes. If it is not set, let's just say that. If it is not set, then we load the charge API. Otherwise, let's just display all the data from the charge API. So to do that, let's assign our charge ID to another variable. So let's do that. Charge ID is equal to get charge ID. Let's close out with semicolon, and then over here let's declare another array. Let's just call this array to make it short. Array, and then over here end up with semicolon. And then let's just copy this one, put it over here. And then let's just, yeah, keep it the same. The only difference is we have to add ID over here for the charge ID. So let's call charge ID over here, comma, and then the name is weekly help premium, and then we have to add API client ID, if I'm correct, client ID, which we need it to make a random variable, a value. We'll just say for here and then like that. No, comma. Let's make it less. Okay, let's make it less. Okay, next is the price. That's correct. And then the test, we have to check that is true. And then we have to add return URL, shop. Let's just get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. There you go. And then we have to add another key over here, which is the billing on, which is set to null. And then activated on, which is also set to null. And then the trial ends on, which is also set to null. And then cancelled on, which is also set to null. And then trial days, which is set to 0. And then decorated, which is another return URL, decorated return URL, which will be set to our return URL over here. And the only difference is we have to add the charge ID at the end. Charge ID, and then concatenate the charge ID. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to call the API. So to do that, let's just make another variable. Let's call it activate. And then let's just copy this one over here and then assign it over here. Shopify call token shop admin API 2019 recurring application charges. But instead, we'll change this to activate JSON, and then over here another slash, and then let's just concatenate something over here, which is the charge ID. There you go. Let's just fix this. There you go. So we call Shopify, and then recurring application charge ID. We activate the code, and then we add the array over here. Then make sure it's post, and then activate is equal to the same one over here. It's just the same. JSON decode. Make sure you change this to activate response. There you go. And then next we print the result. So just put your activate variable, and then let's close that with semicolon. Let's save that and let's open our Shopify app. All right, so we're here now to our approved charge page. And if we click approve charge, we should get redirected to our page and see the result for the activation of our charge API. As you can see, we have here the charge ID, and there you go. As you can see, we have the array for the recurring application charge API. Now we have the ID, which is over here as well. And then we have the name, weekly help premium, the client ID, the price, $5 per month, and then the status, which is really important if it's active or canceled or whatever. You can always look that up in the Shopify recurring application charge API and see the status. And then here's the return URL, which is this one. And then what else? Yeah, the billing on, which today, created today, updated today, and so on. So yeah, there you have it, guys. What else? Yeah, activated on, canceled, trial days, 0 trials, ends today, and yeah, that's all. So basically what you're gonna do here is to put all this data or whatever the data you need in the database, and then you just check if the merchant is activated the charge API. Otherwise, just redirect them to the confirmation URL. So that's basically how you charge your merchants. Actually, we have another question over here. What if you want to add trial to your Shopify app or whatever? So you can actually, it's really easy to be honest. The only thing you're gonna do is to add over here trial, and then trial days and then add over here. Just say 14 days, and then over here you set 14 days. Simple as that. And then you just save it and then run again your app. Okay, so if we run our app once again, we should get redirected to the confirmation URL, and we should have trial. There you go. As you can see, we have 14-day free trial starting today. Weekly help premium, 5 monthly, and then you will be charged 5 on January 3, 2020, which is next year. Wow. And then, yeah, no charge, 0. So start free trial, and then you'll get redirected with another charge ID. And there you go. As you can see, we have a trial days, 14 days. It will end on January. Alright guys, so that's actually how you charge your merchants for using your Shopify app. So if you have questions, just let me know in the comments below and I will tackle that in the next video. Again guys, thank you guys so much for subscribing. And I apologize. We apologize as well for not uploading much for this channel because we have a lot of things to do. We're upgrading our website as well. We're hoping next year that we'll have more content for you guys. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. And yeah, Merry Christmas everyone. Happy holidays.